Welcome to Be Me with Shari Ware, the podcast where each day is a step towards a better you and where we focus on progress, not perfection. Join me as we embark on a journey of self-improvement and wellness, focusing on being just a little better than we were yesterday. Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the Be Me podcast. I'm your host, Shari Ware, and today we are going to start talking about why do you do what you do. This is part 1 of what actually turned into a 6-part series, and part 1 is about uncovering the needs behind your behaviours. So let's get started. All right, so the first thing that I want to say is that there is a reason for every single thing that you do as a human being, whether it's something that serves you or not, whether it's a behavior that actually works in your life or whether it doesn't work in your life. And how often have we all done something or we regularly participate in a behaviour or exhibit a behaviour, display a behaviour that we actually don't want to, we really don't like it, but for whatever reason, we just can't seem to stop doing it. There is a reason, and that's what we're going to talk about. One of the reasons, one of the parts to why you do what you do. So there are 6 human needs. Now, if you've ever heard of Tony Robbins, I don't know if he actually came up with the concept in the beginning, but he definitely made it famous. And this is where I first learned about the 6 human needs, was from Tony Robbins. And once I learnt about it, it actually made a lot of sense to me. I was very frustrated with some things in my life. There were some changes that I wanted to make, and I just couldn't seem to do what I needed to do. No matter how much I consciously wanted to do it, I would be successful for a period of time, and then something would happen and I would self-sabotage and I'd go back to the old way. And what I didn't realise is that the behaviour, whatever it was at the time, was actually meeting certain needs that I had that I didn't realise. So there are 6 human needs. The first one is certainty. We need to have a feeling of stability. Human beings, all human beings, every single one of us needs to have a feeling of stability and safety. We want to avoid pain and we want to gain pleasure. We're all driven to do that. As well as certainty, we're a bit fickle. We also want variety. We want our cake and eat it too. We want to have both sides of the coin. Variety, all human beings have the need for change and something different in their lives. We also have a human need for love and connection. Most of you will definitely know about this one and resonate with this one. It's not something that we just want in our lives just for the sake of it. It's something that we actually need as human beings. We need to feel a closeness with others. Human need number 4 is significance. We have a human need to feel important, to feel worthy, to feel as if there's a reason for us being here. Number 5 is growth. Humans need the ability to grow and develop. And number 6 is contribution, giving back to others, legacy, feeling like we are contributing to the world and making it a better place. Most of us have a need to do that. Now, if there is something that if there is a behaviour that you are, I'll say, indulging in regularly, it can be a positive behaviour or a negative behaviour, or another way I like to put it is a behaviour that serves you in your life or is functional, or a behaviour that doesn't serve you or is dysfunctional in your life, because we all have both of them. It doesn't matter whether it is functional or dysfunctional. If you are doing it regularly, practicing that behavior regularly, then it is meeting at least 3 of the 6 human needs. It can be different. It can be different needs depending on what the behavior is, but it will definitely be meeting at least 3 of them. And sometimes it will be meeting 4 of the more of them, or sometimes even all of them. So, for instance, let's talk about. I'm going to use the exercise example, or exercise as an example. I like to call it movement because I actually don't like the word exercise. It feels really hard to me. So I like to call it movement. That feels easier and better, resonates more. And movement is something that is really important for us to do as human beings for our health. There's lots of health benefits. Our bodies are designed to move. And so it's something that it's really beneficial for us all to do. However, sometimes we don't like to do it. And I'm definitely in that boat. I 100% admit that I do not like the execution of exercise or movement. However, I do really love the benefits, and I know how important it is for my health to do it, so I do it. Now, I did create a really strong movement practice in my life, even though I didn't like moving my body. And the reason why I was able to do that was because it actually ended up, I was actually able to create a habit that met all 6 of my human needs. So it met my certainty need, because I was certain that if I moved my body regularly, then I would be healthier, that it would have lots of benefits for me and for my life. So that was my certainty need ticked off. It also met the variety need in the way that I did it. So I ended up finding a small private studio. Unfortunately, I don't train there anymore because they stopped doing the classes that I was doing. However, I found a small training studio where I felt comfortable, because I really don't like big gyms. And I went to group classes, and they were very small classes. There weren't very many people in the classes. And so that ticked off my variety need, because different classes had different trainers, different group classes had different trainers, which meant that there was different exercises, different movement happening in each session, because different trainers train differently, and then they have different programs depending on what the session is. And then also there were different people in the different classes, so lots of variety. So it ticked that one off. It ticked off my love and connection need, because I was connecting with other people. I was socialising, and that was a very big part of it, was the social aspect. I felt supported, and I felt like I wasn't having to do the hard work on my own. If I was going to have to suffer this, then somebody else can as well. So it definitely ticked off the love and connection part. It ticked off the significance need. I had, when I first started out, I wasn't very good, but give it a few years. I actually trained there for about 8 years, and I grew very strong, very fit, and I was able to see my progress, and especially when other people came into the class that were new, as I had been in the beginning, and I could see how far I had come. It gave me a feeling of significance, and it also ticked off my contribution need, because I could be helping them, and helping to support them, helping to encourage them, helping to motivate them. So I was able to contribute as well. And also my growth need. It also ticked off my growth need, because over time you grow. You're able to do more. You're able to do heavier weights. All of those things, you grow over time. So because I found a way to do it, to practice movement in a way that actually met all of my 6 human needs, I was able to continue that practice regularly, and it wasn't difficult to do. It was just something that I did and it ticked all the boxes. The same thing happens, or the same concepts come into play if you are doing something regularly that is something that isn't functional in your life, that's dysfunctional and that doesn't serve you, and you want to stop doing it. There is a reason why you're doing it. So it's really important for you to think about and identify the needs that it's meeting. And the trick is to find another behaviour, a behaviour that is actually functional in your life, that is going to serve you, that is going to create a positive impact in your life rather than a negative one, and ensuring that it meets the same needs at either the same level or a greater level in order to switch the habit, to switch the dysfunctional habit for a functional habit. So, for instance, if just in case you need an example of how this would play out, for instance, let's think about somebody who smokes cigarettes. There's lots of people out there who smoke cigarettes and they really don't want to. It's a habit that they have. They haven't been able to kick it. They don't understand why they do it, and this is why they do it. It is meeting at least 3 of the 6 human needs. So, for instance, it could definitely meet the certainty need for various different reasons. You could have certainty that you're going to get the nicotine hit, the feel good hit when they have a cigarette. It could be certainty that they get to have a break when they have a cigarette. There's lots of ways that it could actually be meeting the certainty need by taking the time out to have a cigarette. It could be meeting the variety need. It could be, again, I'll go back to the taking the time out, having a break. Variety, it could be, especially if they're at work, there could be several people who smoke and they'll go out at certain times and have a smoke break together. And then that can also be ticking off the love and connection box. And I know that sounds a bit strange, but sometimes it's even just about love and connection with themselves as well as other people. It could be that they just need to take some time out for themselves, and that's the way that they're able to do it, is to have a cigarette break. Significance. So this could actually be, if you go back to being a young person, peer pressure. That's when a lot of people take up smoking, is when they're young. And it is peer pressure, and so it makes them feel significant. They feel cool because they're having a cigarette. It generally doesn't tick off the growth or contribution boxes, but as I said, it only needs to meet 3 of the 6 human needs for it to be a behaviour that you exhibit regularly. So hopefully that gives you a bit more insight into why, if there's something in your life that you really don't want to be doing, but you just can't seem to stop, have a think, analyze it along these lines and think, okay, what needs is it meeting? Because it will be meeting at least 3 of these needs and possibly more. And then also do the same for a positive. If there's something that is functional in your life, that's something that is a really great habit and it really adds to your life, and you're able to, you were able to start that, do the same thing, analyze, okay, well, why am I able to continue to do this so easily? What needs is it meeting? Because again, it will be meeting at least 3 of the needs. If you are somebody who wants to look a bit more into this, this is just a short little snapshot, an overview of it, there is an edition of Be Me Bites, the weekly newsletter that I do. Number 3 was Why You Do What You Do, Part 1. which is this one, all about your behaviours are meeting a need. So you can go and read that, and I always put other resources in if you want to find out more about Tony Robbins' take on it. And then I've put a link to an article on his website that you can read as well if you want to go into it a bit deeper, and lots of other resources that you'll find there. So I highly encourage you to go and check out that edition. And as an ethical bribe, I'll remind you that if you do subscribe, then you get a free book when you join. And as an ending, I'm going to end on this note that there's a reason you do every single thing you do, whether it's a behaviour that serves you or not. So give yourself, a little break. Be kind to yourself, and just look at some of those things, those habits that you have in your life, whether they be functional or dysfunctional, and think about what needs they're meeting, because it will help you moving forward. I'll see you on the next episode. See ya. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode. Remember to check out the show notes, and if you have any comments, feedback or suggestions, I'd love to hear them. If you've received value from this podcast, make sure to subscribe, and I'd love you to rate and review the show. Have a fabulous day.